Welcome, YouTube, and welcome to the first public session. So, guys, if you're just watching this on the replay, remember that this is a public session for everyone, free members, and everyone that wants to join in the Discord. So, do not miss your opportunity to come and say hi, and of course, ask for any announcements that you want to. This is for everyone, so come join with us. All right, every single Wednesday at this same time. Other than that, Alex, how was your golfing yesterday?
Good, man. Yeah, I shot an 82. I played with a guy from Tennessee. He talked like this. A very interesting game of golf. Sounded like an amplified version of Army Piper. So it was lots of fun. And yeah, I played well. Good fun. Got out. Enjoyed the beautiful mountains and the weather. It's been good. So no complaints there. I didn't
Great,
break my
great.
personal best though. I shot an 82,
Love
which
it,
is still a
love
good
it.
score. I played well, but now that I shot a 76, I'm gonna be chasing that forever.
Absolutely. Hey, Shrift, might be a little bit of a mistake in there. Please go over to the help channel. Let me get you here. And we're gonna get you sorted out as soon as possible. But this is a live stream. There's not much that we can do while we are in the live stream, but we have our support stuff right here on the help channel. Please click on the help channel, request a ticket, and then explain inside the ticket what's going on, and we're gonna get you right away with that. Also, check out your email, because that sounds like an email confusion right there. Other than that, let me know after the class if that got solved, and if not, I'll make sure that that gets sorted out as soon as possible. In the meantime, let me pass it over to you, Alex. If you can continue, please. I'm gonna also go over to the support side and pass you over and get you set up, Sharif, so you get it sorted out. So, go ahead, Alex. What you got for us?
Yeah. So Bitcoin's chop city right now. I did take a Solana long. I'm currently in the long, but I've taken profits. It just doesn't seem like it wants to go. So I would say 75% out of this long. My only trade today, so I'm up $700 on Solana. A nice little trade here. We came back down into here. I was looking for a push out of this doji engulfing. I front ran it, took it up to the highs here, and it's still struggling to go. So that's fine. Bitcoin coming up into our sell wall right now. Looking for a possible breakout retest. Okay, so this move has been very sketchy. Okay, that's what I want to kind of clarify. So whenever you're trading, however market open happens, okay, and you can see in here, and you can see also in the NASDAQ. Okay, so whenever you're getting something like this, typically makes for a really painful trading day. Okay, this is just my experience. Whenever you're getting very choppy wicks, okay, volatility. So if you're not aware to recognize this, if there's volatility, you get excited. You're like, oh my God, price is moving. Well, price is moving within this area for a long period of time, right? And just like Bitcoin, when we're looking here, and yes, on the live stream, I gave the SFP trade. I gave the VWAP slap trade here. I did not take either one of them, but they were opportunities if you wanted to take them. And then we chopped, right? As soon as I seen the confluence, though, on Bitcoin breaking out of the orb in here, that's what allowed me to have confidence in my Solana trade that I'm currently about to get stopped out on. But Solana is something I'm also comfortable trading. And I was just looking for a continuation here. Take a quick scalp on Solana. You get a little bit more money out of it, right? Especially in choppy waters. So right now we're looking for a retest of the pink box, okay? And the pink box is definitely something that we were looking for resistance to be held in here. But when looking at Bitcoin, what are we doing, right? That's what you always got to ask. Like, what's the big picture, right? So always like get out on like a 4-hour time frame, right? That's always going to help you kind of understand what is what's brewing here. So we have the break of this massive trend line, which is first and foremost. Okay. And I know OC took the breakout on Ethereum that I gave him with the support of the trend line. I know he did because he got the FOMO and he FOMO'd in. But we gave you guys the ETH setup as well, which in my opinion, OC, have you seen ETH, bro? You see the play?
Oh yeah, I
Bro,
did. You called it out yesterday.
bro, look at ETH here. We had this trend line. I said, this trend line, if it holds, we are very bullish. We said this multiple times. We gave you the big green box, and we gave you the big support level. Look at that. The whole way through, man. And look what happened. You even had an OC breakout retest right here.
Let's go.
Look at that. Right here. Look at retesting the high. Continuation trade. Bada boom, bada bing, right? Beautiful. Anyways, I'm thinking I'm going to go and get a big log OC. And I'm going to get my saw because I'm a carpenter, my chisels, and I'm going to carve out a giant spoon so I can spoon feed people through the screen because of all the setups we give people, you know. So I just spoon feed them with a giant. I'm gonna make a giant spoon. That's all. Anyways, that's
Oh, look
it.
at that.
Daga
Daga got
knows.
you.
Daga knows. We got the spoon feeding giant spoon. Oh man. So this is looking like I said, we want to zoom out. So BTC breaking out. What does BTC need to do? Right? So we said, this is our support level. This is our support level. This is our support level, right? So these are all of our support levels that we are looking to the downside. Well, what's needs to happen? And we're tapping it right now. It's pretty funny. Well, what needs to happen right now? Well, we need a support and resistance flip. Okay? A flip. Why? Because we got all these people scared down here. But what does this mean? We are still making lower highs all the way through here. We still have not reclaimed this range. So if we're going to go, let's go all the way back to the 1st of June. Okay, let's go back and pull this from. Now, this is the only time. So June, July, August. This is a 3-month volume area, okay? It's the only time where I'll be specific with the fixed range volume profile tools. I'll go to a date and a time. Okay, so this is our 3-month fixed range volume profile. What is this saying? This says that we need to reclaim where we are right now and flip it to support, right? It's very simple, right? But if we do not hold in here, we're looking to rotate into here and here, correct? Correct. Okay. So is it make or break? No. What we want to see in here is some sort of accumulation, right? Some sort of, hey, higher low go, sweep and go, push and flip and go, retrace and go, right? So these are the things we're looking for in here. This high is still intact, meaning this is just a lower high right now. Now, my big concern that you all should be prepared for is that we have done what? We have created a shit ton of liquidity on the way up here. Okay, so this to me is imbalance. Alex likes to see structured price action. Even sometimes when it's structured, it still comes back and wrecks people. When it's not structured like this, okay, unless this right here was here, I would be okay with this pump. But it's not. We have way too many opportunities for people to get long in here. Okay. I mean, basic retail could get long here and still be in a long position. Okay. This is not like rocket science of an entry. This is way too easy, in my opinion. Right. Double bottom, long, stop loss below the low, sweep at the low. Right. Very easy. They're giving you 4 tries to get long here. That means that there's a pent up amount of liquidity in here, and they did not sweep and go. When they sweep and go, not a lot of people get long in here. Okay. And then they come back here for this V shape and then they go. Okay. And how do I know this? Is because it happens time and time again, right? If I go over to any of these lows that led to a pump, a low that led to a pump, they don't give you a chance to get long in here. Just chance, right? But it's very like, I'll see you later. And do they ever come back in here? No. And then Valhalla. Okay. So if we understand that, we still want to see this. We could be, huh? Look at this. Pretty easy to get long here, right? We could be here and we still have this to go, right? So we could take this because we did have a little bit of relief. We can drag this over here. And just for visual, because I'm a visual learner and I think fractals are a load of shit. They don't work out perfect, but they help me visualize what's the potential, okay? And we could be in this guy right here. And we could still have this come in here. Okay? That would be pain. I don't think there's enough pain yet. OC, do you think there's enough pain yet?
Not at all. In fact, if you talked about that is pretty cool that you mentioned it, because if you check out the fear and greed index, we are kind of like a neutral. In fact, everybody's just chilling.
Yeah. I sold $30,000 worth of BTC today.
You sold BDC?
Today, yeah.
No, you never saw BTC, brother. No, I'm just kidding. I'm turning to a maxi. Not that bad. Love it. I mean, you're forecasting a little bit of a downtrend, or you're just taking profits from an older purchase?
So for me, in Canada, we have a TFSA. It's a tax-free savings account.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you need to take profits by December 31st. So by end of year, you need to take profits in order to reallocate the following year. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, so for me, if I think we're going to have a dump
Right.
in the next year, I will take profits and I will buy lower. Okay? Now, maybe 2026 is okay. But for me, I'm rotating. So for me, my life savings is 90% Bitcoin. And I've bought at 21K. Okay. And I'm talking lots of money, like lots of money. Like I've taken out maybe 5% right now. Okay. I haven't taken out a lot. Okay. So for me, I'm starting to ladder out because I believe the top by December. This could roll over and we could be back down here easily, right? So for me, I am laddering out. I sold a little bit up here. I'm selling a little bit here because what is this? Why do I have a sell order? And it was a limit order. Why do I have a sell order here? What are we doing right now? So we all understand. On a higher term time frame, bearish divergence, breakout, retest continuation. No? Are we retesting the lows right now? Yes or no? Right? Am I bearish on Bitcoin? Hell no. Hell no. I'm 90% Bitcoin. I've bought here. I bought here. I bought here. Okay? And I bought a little bit here. Should I take some money off the table? I think so. Why do you think And I also bought Ethereum back there. Why do you think last year in January, when everybody was saying, Alex, you're an idiot, Alex, you're an idiot, why do you think, for tax purposes, right? January, December 31st is here. We get a beautiful breakout here, which we longed. Okay. But why do you think I started to ladder out of Bitcoin or of Ethereum here? And then everybody's like, you're an idiot. And then I was like, haha, you're an idiot. Okay. Uh, it's because I'm preparing. I'm prepared. I have a plan, right? So I'm trading the plan. Always trading the plan, always trying to maximize the amount of profits I make, right? And then reallocating into things that I believe that will do well, right? Uh, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Uh, copy image. And here's your receipt, just so you guys know. ETF, $34,000 today,
Nice.
limit order. So
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
I just like money, man. and how do you make money is you take profits. If you don't know how to take profits, you're gonna end up broke. So that's where I'm at right now. Where are you at, OC?
Oh man, well, now you're giving me the FOMO, like big time, bro. I mean, I'm expecting to go lower. All right, I don't think that this is the end of the movement. Also, I had it called out from the era side on Mexican era side. If you guys didn't know, that's a little bit of a gossip. So era side, I'm paying my taxes, all of them, every single penny. If you're watching the YouTube, all right, because I don't know how otherwise you could have ever find this out. But I'm also not taking some profit at this point, and that is because well, right now I kind of like already moved a big chunk from my profits from to Bitcoin into my savings account. And I have a little bit of a different approach, right? So here is what I do. I trade, and at the end of it all, I try to accumulate Bitcoin, as much Bitcoin as I can, all right? And then in the meantime, well, I do have to convert some of that to USDT to trade, because at the end of it all, I trade for USDT because that right now, in the shorter amount of time, that give me the best return on investment, which is annualized return, all right? So that is because of my accounts. And then I get some Bitcoin when it retraces, and then I send that Bitcoin to my savings account, right? One of my last purchases was basically right in here, somewhere around the 107. Remember, every single time that we hit somewhere around 100K, I buy a little bit and send it to my account. If we start losing the 100K, that is when I stay liquid, and then I wait for another big purchase on Bitcoin. And basically, that savings account, it's always on Bitcoin, right? It's painful to see when it goes down. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of like helps me back. But when I remember when I started, well, that was I mean, I have had like I don't know, like somewhere around 600% of that savings account. And that is freaking amazing. All right. That is freaking amazing. That's why it's important to have a clear perspective of what is your personal scenario. All right. So depending on your personal scenario, you might do your strategy, and that is crazy important. Because that way you can squeeze the most out of the market. Right now, I'm looking for a short on Bitcoin in a lower time frame. Let me show you what I got in here. But also first, let me shout out the new members in here, which I do see. Brada, what's up, my friend? Also, by the way, thank you so much for Daggedy. He also give you a little bit of a quick overview on where to find those indicators and indicators trading. Let me go over one little caveat that I would like you to show you really quickly. And it is an important classes, or right here on important classes. I'm going to click on it. And then all the way up, it says class Monday's chart prime class. All right. So I'm going to click play in here, and I'm going to open up in here. Right. This is one of the most important. Oh, and I'm not sharing, of course. I mean, that had to be. All right, so once you click on that video, Monday class, all right, let me see. This is what you're going to be seeing, my beautiful face, all right? And, well, you are very welcome to take a picture and print it out there in next to your monitor. But the most important part comes right here because this is one of the most important classes that you could ever
Look
take.
at your hair in that video, bro. Holy smokes,
Right
man.
now, it seems like somebody
Hey?
took me out of which.
Holy, oh my God.
Look at that twice,
Do you
twice.
see all those? Do you see all the lineup? Oh my God, they're all lining up for OC.
Well, I had much
Look,
more follicles in here back in the day, right? Thanks to trading, I lost them. So I exchanged them for Bitcoin. Important. I mean, this is the one of the most important classes that you could ever watch, but there's a little caveat here, right? You're gonna be seeing Market Oracle version 2.12. It's outdated, all right? The only difference that it's in here, it's going to be how you configure your trending. All right. So let me push it here so you can see it. There we go. Your trend sensitivity or your trendy. All right. The difference in there is that instead of now having a trendy sensitivity and trend agility, all right, we just give you one number. So just forget about one of those. And then when you go over, hey, how do you set up the size of your trend? You just need to mess with one single setting. And there you go. Just so you don't have to mess around with stuff. My suggestion is start at 30 and then move in 10 increments. All right. That is if you're trading in between the 1 hour and the daily. All right. 30, 40, so on and so forth. Just so you see right now, instead of me having two numbers, I just have one and I use 43. That is my fine tuning, right? So I go like 20, 30, 40, and then since 40 was very basically right there on the ballpark, 41, 42, 43, 45, and then 44, 43. And that was my sweet spot. All right. But somebody else might like something different. Like, for example, here, Alex, I think he likes 8, isn't it?
8 is the way, bro.
It is the way. So it's all about what it makes sense for you, right? Let me give you kind of a boiled down perspective of the most important thing that you're going to be learning, all right? Let me just turn this off really quickly and let's go to another thing that I can completely get rid of. All right, so let's get rid of everything here. And right here, the next thing I'm going to be doing is turning on my market Oracle Pro. All right. So let's go over invited only. Remember, not from favorites. Very important. Not from favorites, for invite only. And then on your invite only, you go to your market Oracle Pro or Plus, depending what you got. It's exactly the same. So don't worry. Let's go for the Plus. Because I think you might have the Plus. All right. So right out of the get go, you just go and hit the gear icon, and you should have autopilot. Autopilot is going to read the latest of your price action in range, and it's gonna do some dark magic in there, right? Some black magic, and it's gonna auto shift your trendy thing. That's why you hear right here optimal tuning says 2022, right? The 22 is the current trendy. So really quickly here, when you have autopilot turned on, it doesn't matter what trendy number you have because it's overruled by the AI engine that we have, all right, which is tied to a back tester in the background. It sounds freaking amazing, and it is, all right, and I have them both on, but I'd rather teach you how to do it yourself. So that's why we're going to go turn off autopilot. And you see that it's 14 right now, all right? Let me close this, and you're going to see a lot of signals. The most important part is if you already have a time frame, all right, that you are the most profitable, you feel the most comfortable, stick with it, right? For me, it's the 4 hour, right? But I also like the 15 minutes, and let's try it on the 15 minutes so you can see. And then once you're on the 15 minutes, you just zoom out. Look at that. Zoom out as much as you can, as far as it will go, all right? Because we are not here to see trades, right? We're here to find trends, right? Which is a little different. That's why I over-exaggerate the thing, also because of my accent, all right? And right here, we're just going to go and turn this off just for a second, right? Just for a second. And then identify your trends, right? So for example, maybe for you, this is a trend and this is a trend, and you will be all right analyzing them, all right? For me, this is the trend and this is a trade that I want to take. This is a trade that I want to take. This is a trade that I want to take. And this is a trade that I want to trade. All right. So just let your brain dictate what is a trend and what is a trade. Very, 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 very important in this case. Do not make the mistake that most of us did when we started and going so zoom in that you see those chunky candles and then you say, hey, this is my trend and I want to buy here and sell here and then buy here and sell here and buy here, because you're talking about like 1 and 2 candles. There is no structure in there. So there is no way that that is a trend. That is a trade, because in here you have high, right? Low, a little bit high, but it's not actually that far or big enough to become a trend. This is a trade, right? So make sure that that's why I always mention zoom out as much as possible. The next thing you're going to be doing really quickly, and I'm just going over this so also we can understand the next thing that I'm going to be explaining. It is going to be turning off so it doesn't interrupt me right now, my trending. And I want to go for candle highlights and change it to trend static. All right. This is going to give me just a black and white, quote unquote, on where things are happening. And also very, 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 very important, turn on your dynamic reactor. All right. Dynamic reactor is the way. So your dynamic reactor, it's going to be like your EMA, VWAP or something like that, all right? It's not that, it's just volume. And what you want to go for, it is this, really quickly. When you lose your dynamic reactor, you see how you lose it, right? And then you stay constantly below your dynamic reactor, that is your trend. You see that? So this is a trend. This is a little bit short of a trend, so this is a fake out. And look at that. I lost it once again in here, and this is a trend, right? And maybe this is a trend, and this is a trend, and this is a trend, all right? You can actually go for that, or even, as I like it, all that is a trend, right? But that will give you the perspective on what is a trend and what is a trade, all right? So far, you already have marked them, all right? The breakout. So, for example, breakout, not that one, sorry. Breakout, 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 and breakout, somewhere around there. You don't need to be precise. And then now is the time to configure your trendy. You want the signals to be a sell signal here, all right? Not at the top, because that's not going to happen, because we're talking about trends, not about tops and bottoms. If you want to go for tops and bottoms, check out the reversals. Those are fantastic, all right? But if the trend is your friend and is the oldest tool available for humanity to trade, well, then that is because it's important. So I do advise you to use it. All right. So let's go over here, turn on trendy, and start, of course, like somewhere like I advise you to start at 30. So let's start at 30. So let's click it. Let's just wait for that little eye to start moving. And then we're going to be comparing the signals. All right. So let's just wait a little bit more. There we go. Look at that. We have a much better signal. But right here, oh, yeah, we broke above and then below. So it's not that bad. This one also is not that bad, but we want to get rid of that noise. Because when we get rid of that noise, we have a more pure trend. And then we just short, like we were in a downturn, we short every single time that we're at the top. We short every single time that we're at the top. We short every single time that we're at the top. We short every single time that we're at the top. It makes it much easier with less noise, right? So let's go and, for example, do here, I don't know, 50, right? Just to overshoot a little bit. Let's go for 50. Wait for that little eye to stop moving. And go on, go on, go on. Please, I don't have all of your time. There you go. And there is, look at that. Much, much, much better. All right, look at that. It's almost perfect how we broke through, right? And we have that signal. Yes, we have this one, but technically speaking, we did broke through and broke back in here, right? This is what I call interference, and sometimes that interference is just, it's just going to be there. So as you can see, we nailed it with 50, with break down, break up, break down, break up, break down, break up, right? The next step will be now fine tuning. But now that you know the trend, when you have one of those signals, you know that you are in the game, right? So you're short body. So you just wait for the pullback and short the thing. Wait for the pullback and short the thing. Wait for the pullback and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until you get stopped out. And then you have another signal to then change, all right? So that is kind of like at the most important part. So just so you see what is just the main difference between the market oracle 212 in the new market oracle. Everything else, like in the front end, is exactly the same. Same logic apply, and that's what we want to keep, right? Because, like, for example, imagine that every single time we change how to drive a bicycle. So you will need to learn how to drive a bicycle over and over and over, and that makes no sense, right? We better just improve the mechanism of the bicycle and leave you with the same handle, same pedals, and overall same experience, right? With a better back end. All right. So, and another thing, really quickly, you'll see that I talked about smart money concepts. Come on, load, 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 load. And for some reason, my internet is pretty slow today. All right, here's smart money concepts. Just so you know, the smart money concepts right now is not a standalone. It's now inside of your market dynamics, bro. Just in case, right? So those are the only two caveats. Other than that, watch that class. I explained everything in depth, and everything is still valid. All right, so just giving you the heads up in here. We need to do that right, bro. That bicycle, love it, love it. All right, that is because I saw you wearing a bicycle helmet, my friend. Well, it's not you, but that was pretty cool. All right, let's move on into what Alex mentioned. Now that we understand, like, how is that configuration playing out on Bitcoin, let me turn it off and let me just show you mine. Right, I show you mine, you show me yours. 43. All right, but that is because I trade the 4 hours. All right, and the 4 hours, that's the best settings for me. And so far, look at that. Let's just turn things off just for a second. And are we, I mean, this is clear. This is just plain and simple clear. Are we bearish or bullish, right? We're bearish. And yes, we have our first signal of bullishness or change of character, which is our double bottom in here. Let me clear this up. There we go. We have our first double bottom, and then we go for our trend line in here, right? And on that trend line, well, we have our first breakout. As you can see, I'm not even using an indicator right now. Just doing simple stuff, which that is the key, man. That is the key, all right? Indicators, in our indicators, I put my hands in the fire to tell you that those are one of the best in the market, if not the best in the market, and I play my own money with them, all right? But knowing what you're doing and then having the clarity of the things, like, for example, you know your house, right? Let's just say that the lights are out. You can navigate your house with the lights out, right? You know what the sofa is, you know what that old grandmother old cabinet is at, right? You know everything. You can navigate it. But when you use your indicators, like turning on the lights, you already see the things in there, right? So the same thing goes with the indicators. I have a trend line, and like Alex O Crypto says, and I completely steal that phrase, nothing beats a good trend line, right? So start with that. Start with the trend line. Perfect. You have a trend line, and we're breaking. And then it's not about the breakout. It's about what? I don't hear you guys.
Retest.
I got you, bro. It's about the retest.
The retard. I mean, retest.
It's about the retest. Exactly. It's not about the breakers, it's about the retest. And, well, we kind of like already have one. All right. So the next thing is either looking for the previous area of importance, right? So, for example, here, that also matches in here. So we want to bounce off that and then still create a higher low. That is your entry right here. And as you can see, we haven't even turned on the indicators. Now that we know what we're looking for, all right, let's turn on our indicators and see, hey, remember that area that we were looking for a rejection? This lows, this previous highs? What in the world is in there? That is our dynamic reactor, the volume zone. You see that? So again, it's like turning on the lights. You knew what you were looking for, right? You knew what you were looking for. But turning on the lights, hey, there is the resistance. All right, so maybe just wait just a little bit for that confirmation. So let's just wait for a little bit more. Maybe we could overshoot. Maybe we can go higher. And then we see that flip of the ribbon right there. That is your entry. And then you go for the next support. Oh, do you know what the support is? You can guess it based on the structure, right? Remember I mentioned we need to create a higher low. So far we have the trend line. All right, perfect. We know that we could bounce here, 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 right? So we have the idea. We know what we're looking for. But now let's turn on the lights, shall we? What is our support? Oh, wait a minute, we have a support in here, which means that we could be ranging, creating a flat pause of bullish continuation to this area, and then coming back down for the continuation. All right. That doesn't mean that we're going to create a new all-time highs. In this case, we could still be creating a dead cat bounce and a further move to the downside. Thus, I do see why Alex is also selling. Not only because right now we are in resistance and you don't buy a resistance, right? You sell a resistance. But also, look at that. This is huge resistance, right? So let's go right. What would be the next area of support? Oh, look at that. We have another resistance or supporting here. All right. What if we just go here, you buy, let's just go for the worst case scenario, right? Just so you understand how to use the indicators in the worst case scenario. So you're thinking, all right, OC told me that we have a supporting here and we're going to be going for that flip of the premium. Perfect. And let's remember that there's manipulation in the market. So you go and you long it here and you need to set your stop loss. No question about a stop loss, is it? Stop loss is like, it's like God. It's always there. Should be always there, protecting you, right? If you believe on God, all right? So just take it as you will. And then or it's always there ignoring you. That's just kidding. Oh man, I'm gonna go hell. But oh dude. And well then you leave it there because you know they're fucking with you in the market, right? And there's nothing that we can do about it just to protect yourself, right? So it's like how can I say that? It's like balloons in the party, if you know what I mean. All right. So after that, well, if it breaks, oh, stop you out. That's fine. Then you have a retest maybe. And here you go. And this is your next possible entry. And then you long the heck out of this. And then, of course, you do your own stop loss once again. And boom, shakalak. You see, you already know what you're looking for. It's option A or B, right? Or something in between. And then you see where the things are, right? Where the obstacles are. Do you know exactly what's going to happen? No, because there's market manipulation, all right? No, because you don't know what the SEC knows. And no, because you don't know what the job numbers are going to be until they are released, right? If that makes sense. So there are some incognites, right? It's like, I don't know, like your wife comes and do a new adjustment on your living room and she didn't tell you, and then their lights are off, so you're just walking your way up and then you stumble against something that wasn't there yesterday, right? Or something like that. I don't know.
That's what it's like having a 1-year-old. There's toys. There's always toys in the dark, and you're walking, and then you step on a fucking Lego, and your foot, and then you hit your toe off the
Holy
the stroller. Fuck me. That's my life right now, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's my life.
Man, just like trading, you're gonna learn to navigate that. I suppose. I mean, if you made it to trading, I don't think what could be harder than that, quote unquote, right?
Yeah, put them in the crib. That's a stop loss.
Perfect, love it. Oh, well then I think that is a basic overview on what I'm expecting, right? So yes, as we went down in here, one of my purchases went to my savings account. That is it, right? And right now I'm more liquid, right, at this point for my trading account. And Alex is giving me the FOMO because I respect him. I really appreciate his opinion. And I also love how he does his planning, all right? So this is giving me thoughts. And I want to touch on that right before we end up the class. We're 1 minute away. And that is because I need to have my own opinion, right? I need to have my own analysis, right? And look at, for example, Alex. I really respect him. I love his analysis. And he gives me emotions, right? I'm a very emotional trader. And here's what I've learned the hard way. I would not be ditching my strategy because Alex does his own strategy, all right? Even when they're very different. What I'm going to be doing it is, all right, he has a point. Let me see how that piece of the puzzle fits in mine without forcing it, all right? Don't go get the don't go get the scissors and start messing with your puzzle parts. All right.
My wife just sent me this picture of my son napping. Look, OC. This is my son right now.
Oh, I love him. Oh
He's
man, he
falling out
looks
of the
so
crib
innocent.
already. Look at his
He's
leg.
falling
He's
with
falling out. Like this guy's a disaster. Even when he sleeps, he's falling out. He's dangerous when he's sleeping.
Use the hammock, man. Use the hammock that I sent you. I, I know that if you're not from Yucatan, it looks like a death trap. Because, like it looks like a net, like a fishing net. But I guarantee you, he's not gonna get caught in it.
He says it's. You see, it's gonna dump. He says it's red candles. See.
Love it, love it. Let me see. Disappoint. Get what? Disappointed. My flag isn't available. Oh, don't worry. Ask for it on the help channel. We can add it. We can add it. Don't worry, my friend. So, all right. Just wanted to close that up with, hey, you know what? Every trader has their emotions out there, right? Some of us are better than others to hide it. I just don't, right? It's just part of my human nature to be like that loud, right? I'm from the Caribbean, so we're loud, and I'm Latin, so again we're very loud. So
Very
just
loud.
very loud. There you go.
I'm Italian, so I get it.
Let's go. Yes. Love it. Love it. So just take the analysis as a part of a piece of the puzzle, right? And remember, don't ditch it. Put it in the back of your head, right? And you keep it there, right? So you do your own analysis, and when things start breaking, you pull that card from the back of your head and you say, "Hey, Alex said this. All right, maybe I was just not looking at it the right way, or hey, Alex said this, but it's playing out the other way around, right? We all have contingency plans. All right, so have yours. And all of that, thank you, Alex, so much for your analysis. It really got me the FOMO, but I'm really, really excited to have a way different opinion. Love it. You want to say the goodbyes before we run up?
Yeah, guys, have a wonderful trading day. Everything points to Friday, so be safe for now, and we'll see how it goes. But thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Absolutely, guys. And I really start scalping Samurai. We can make that happen. In fact, we have a plus class right now. So we can actually do it today. So guys, thank you so much for jumping in today. And as always, see you guys tomorrow. See ya.